So if you were a kid of the early 90s, chances are you're going to recall two manias or two movements for kids. If you were a female or a young lady, you remember New Kids on the Block. Admittedly, I used to listen to New Kids on the Block as I had an older cousin who was a fanatic for New Kids on the Block. So I used to hang tough, so I know what I'm talking about. If you were a boy in the early 90s, late 80s, it was Turtle Mania. And for a lot of us, that provided fond memories. You had the movies, the cartoons, the comics, and of course you had the toys. So the height of Turtle Mania was probably 90 through 93 or so. And as a kid, I fondly remember watching the cartoons, watching the movies, and I had the toys. So collecting the original Ninja Turtles figures for me, that was the main reason I became a collector, is because I wanted to get all of those toys that I had as a kid and some of the ones that I didn't have as a kid. So I've been collecting turtle stuff for about 4 or 5 years now, and my collection's pretty big. I have a good, decent assortment of the original figures still carded. They're put away right now. I have a lot of the vehicles. I have gathered quite a collection. So nowadays it's kind of hard to collect turtle stuff because while I'm a fan of the recent cartoon that came out a couple years back, I watch it with my kids, and they're going to reboot it pretty soon. For me, that nostalgia is always with that original cartoon series and the movies because that's what I grew up with and that's what I remember. So nowadays, as a turtle collector, you don't come across much stuff that is taking that original license or the original version and kind of giving us an updated version of something, of some type of collectible. That was until a company out of China, Big Boys Toys, got the turtle license from Nickelodeon and kind of surprised me. I wasn't expecting this. Imagine if you took the turtles and you pumped them full of steroids.
What are you doing?
Just kicking it right now in the Roid Lounge, chilling.
What would that look like? Let's check it out right now. So before I show you what it is, let me show you the box that they came in. This is one box, the other box. These boxes are huge. They're probably about 14, 15 inches. They're bigger than my head, and I got a big head. They are called Big Boys Toys Bulkyz series. And they're just a pumped up, roided out version of the original Ninja Turtles. Because remember, I'm a fan of the old stuff. I want the original stuff. I want something that's going to provide nostalgia for me. So at first I was a little bit apprehensive when they announced the license and they only had prototypes. It wasn't until they showed the finished version that I was very much sold on the idea. And I pre-ordered. So what they did was they released 2 turtles first. Donny, if you can't tell by the purple. Mikey. Another special thing about this is they are including a Build-A-Figure Master Splinter. So if you pre-order them in their original release, there's only a set of 500 each. You get... Really? Well, this box doesn't have the picture. The other one does. Anyways. Well, there's no picture of it, but trust me. Each figure comes with a special piece that builds a figure, and that figure is Master Splinter. So I ordered the first 2, Mikey and Donny. Let's take a look at them right now. There's Donny, like I said, roided out. And there's Mikey, jacked up on steroids. I guess a good way to think about it is, I know in the recent cartoon, the one that came out in 2012 on Nickelodeon, Slash was pretty big. Slash was a big dude. So imagine if the Turtles were Slash's size, in the new cartoon anyways. So you got Mikey roided out, you got Donny roided out. These sit about 10, 12 inches tall. They are massive, they are bulky, hence the name. They are big, and you know what? I really dig them. I like them. I don't know what it is about them. Like I said, it is nostalgia of the original 4 Turtles. So let's compare them to the original 4 Turtles, in fact. This is an original 1992 Target exclusive 4-pack of the original 4 Turtles that came out from Playmates. They sit about 4 inches tall. Compare these to this. You see the size difference, you know? It's pretty obvious. They were going for a 2018 shock value. I don't know what you want to call it. This is Big Boys Toys interpretation of the Turtles. And I approve. It's a reimagining of my childhood toys. I really appreciate the artists at Big Boys Toys. This is his interpretation. I'll put his name down in the description below. I think it's Fang Shun. I might be mispronouncing that. I apologize. He's a really good artist, and I really like his style, and that's why I think these spoke to me when I saw them. Because at first I was like, I don't know with the prototypes, but in person, I like them. So let's take a quick look at them. There's limited articulation. You got to be really careful. I'm very scared to move his arms, if that makes sense, because these things are not cheap. Their arms move and their heads move a little bit, but not a lot. And that's about as much as articulation as you're going to get on these things. Same thing with Donny. You can move his... Oh. Eee. The joints are tight. There we go. You can move his arms. I don't even want to try moving his legs. And you can move his head a little bit. I'm not going to do it because the joints are really tight on these things. They also come with their weapons. As you can see right here, Michelangelo has 2 of his nunchucks. And Donny's got his bow staff. But you know what? I think the Big Boys Toys did a really good job at capturing the essence of the Turtles, if that makes sense. Because you can see in each one, they got their own attitude. You know, they look mean, like I said, they look like they're on a roid streak right now. They're juiced up, whatever you want to call it. But each one has their own individuality. Each turtle has its own shade of green, having its own personality, its own distinction. You know, in the cartoon, you know that Mikey was a party guy and Donny had his machines and all. But I think it's each shade of green that also adds to their persona and their character, and it just adds, it gives each turtle substance. So Big Boys Toys did that same thing, as you can see right here. Mikey's kind of like a turquoise green, kind of, and Donny's like a lime. I don't know what color green he is. Aqua green? I'm just making stuff up at this point, but yeah, whatever. So if you remember New Kids on the Block, and you remember Turtle Mania, you were a kid of the late 80s, early 90s, whatever you want to call it. That was a memorable time, and I don't think you're ever going to see that replicated today. I really appreciate what Big Boys Toys did with these. Now, these aren't cheap. The price was a little bit shocking, and you're only going to get these if you're a true collector and you love the Turtles like I do. If you're a true collector and you want to collect everything you can regarding Ninja Turtles, especially the original line from Playmates and the original cartoon series, I would absolutely say pick these up in a heartbeat. So next on the list is Raf and Leo. They're going to be coming out in July. I've already pre-ordered them. I'm going to make sure I complete the Master Splinter Build-A-Figure. Honestly, Raf is my favorite turtle, so I'm really anticipating that one. So this is for the true turtle fan out there. If you collect Ninja Turtles, if you still watch the movies to this day, if you still got the cartoon series on iTunes like I do, if you still live for the Turtles almost every day, especially for me with my kids, I love it that they watch the original cartoons with me. I can't explain how gratifying that is to be able to share that experience with my boys. If you're a Turtle fan and you still remember Turtle Mania, pick these up. If not, I understand. They're damn expensive. So this is Mikey, this is Donny from Big Boys Toys Bulkyz series. So either rest of my night's gonna either go watch Ninja Turtles, probably season 2 of the original cartoon, or lay down with a good book listening to some New Kids on the Block best of. Let's see how the rest of my night goes.
Take my hand, I will show you places you have